You need 400 pixels. That is 400 runs of Dawn to get the entire gear set for one school. Alright, what's going on everybody? It's Liam here and welcome to today's video on the channel. And in today's video, I have a commentary for y'all and we'll be talking about the Novus crafting situation. Now, for a long time, this has been pretty bad. And with this recent update, if you do not know, a lot of stuff has changed for the better, for the worse. That's kind of up to you. Personally, I do not like this new crafting system, and a lot of the player base does not like this crafting system. So real quick, I'm going to talk about what we had before. We had one piece of gear, 20 pixels, and 50 polygons, right? One piece of school-specific masterpiece gear to craft an Aeon or Eternal cape, 20 pixels, and 50 polygons. Now, there is 9 masterpieces of any type. The pixels go up a bit. The pixels go, up, down. It really depends on what type of gear you get. 40, 60, 67, 32, 23. You can see that there. And a lot of players do not like how this feels, And I'm kind of one of them. I've crafted 2 pieces this update with the new update with the 67 pixel system. It's pretty tedious still. I feel like, your time still doesn't feel that appreciated. I will say though, they did it, they added that pity system and that you'll eventually get enough pixels and eventually you'll get enough masterpiece gear. I am very grateful for that on the developer's side of things. However, I still think it's just way too much time to get certain pieces of gear. What also happened in this update is the developers did buff, supposedly, they did buff pixel drop rates and masterpiece drop rates. Now, I've farmed the last fight, I farmed Dawn, and that other dude, I forget who he was, but all 3 of them were pretty underwhelming still, I like the Dawn fight quite a bit. You only get 1 pixel per run, unfortunately. I was expecting like 2 to 3 if I'm gonna, be expected to get like 67 pixels for like 4 main pieces of gear, I was expecting like 2 or 3 on a fight. And that being said, there are the last fight battle, and other battles that do give like 3 to 4, maybe even 5 sometimes, but those fights tend to take like 10 to 20 minutes, which again, players just do not want to sink that amount of time into the game. I believe the last fight did get a little bit easier as well, which again, I can appreciate. I have been farming that. I've been doing it to see, what it's like now. It definitely is a lot easier, and I enjoy things quite a bit more. However, I think the biggest issue here again is it falls back into the same issue of players do not feel like their time is being appreciated, Yes, there's that end goal of having masterpiece in pixels, but I think players just look at stuff, the 67 pixels over here, and then they compare that to a better system that the community thinks is better, which is like Dragoon, or even something like what Lemuria had, They compare whatever the hell this respectively, whatever the hell this junk is to something we had in the past that, again, was a bit grindy, but it worked, I think this is a simple case of, the good old classic saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it, And I'm all down for KingStyle trying new things, man, but when it comes to players, gear, and endgame content for stuff like that, we can obviously tell, a lot of the player base is unhappy, whether it's on YouTube, Twitter, streams as well, just everywhere. A lot of people are unhappy, and I know personally a lot of my friends, like my mod, some of y'all might know Bot, but she just doesn't even want to get into the Novus with all the grind and all, like, she doesn't want to get into that at all. And another couple, a couple of my friends, they're not interested, It's too much work for barely any upgrade. The gear is really good, but again, I just feel like they do not feel like sinking hours and hours and hours of their time into something, knowing that they might not, might not get the piece dropped that they want. They might not want to just craft, 9 capes, 67 pixels, right? You will eventually get there, but I think players, by the time they get those 9 pieces and 67 pixels, I think that they're just tired and done with it, and they just want to get their drop and get the hell on, skedaddle on, move on to their next thing, but that's not the case right now. Players aren't getting that. Now, the devs have come out and said this is basically like the same time. I forget how they described it. It's like the same time management system as before, but they kind of swapped things around, and now you have like a long-term end goal, which again, I appreciate that. I just think when players, when they see that and they try to do Dawn or something, and they're like, oh my god, this is horrible, they're just not gonna, they're just gonna stop doing it, you know? Like, this is horrible, you know? If we go to farm Dawn, I only get 1 pixel per run. I needed 67, man. Bro, I am not doing 67 runs of something to get 1 robe, and then another 67 to get the hat, and then another 60 to get the wand. Like, are you like, I'm sorry, KingsL, are you kidding, bro? And again, if you do the last fight, that's fine, you get like 4 pixels, but that fight takes like 10 to 20 minutes, which is absolutely insane, you know? Whether you enjoy it or not, it's just so much time players are sinking in. I think players just want to get their items sooner. I'm not opposed to something that's very grindy. Now, if you guys don't know, I actually have every piece of Aeon gear, Era gear, Raid gear for all 7 of the schools here on the channel. And same thing with Dragoon. I got the full Dragoon set pieces on all 7 schools here. As you can see, they're all max level. So I'm not opposed to grinding at all in this game in any circumstance at all. I just think the system right now, again, when players are going to compare it to the past, what they thought was better, it's just, it's not a good comparison, man. It's not. Now, the devs might want to be shifting away from the design of like Dragoon or something like that, which again, like, I can respect that, but when it's something as important as like the PvE casual experience and gear experience, I feel like, again, if it's not broken, don't fix it. You know, players liked the Lemuria one, right? It was a lot better than what we have right now in Novus. You know, players didn't mind Dragoon. Yeah, it was a bit grindy, but you know, you had some options to do things. It was alright. So personally, me, man, I would love to see it, you know, either Lemuria crafting be like the new norm. I really like that. Or I would like to see a Dragoon / Lemuria-esque hybrid crafting system the developers could work on. Now, last thing I want to mention in this video is they actually did cut the polygons down from 50 to 20. I don't think I talked about that at the start. So they did, you know, again, they did do something right. I'm not trying to talk bad about the devs at all. You know, they did drop the, you know, the polygons from 50 per piece to 20. So you'll spend less time running around trying to get polygons, which I can appreciate. You know, personally, the polygon running around wasn't that bad for me. I would just throw on Netflix, throw on some tunes, and just, you know, run around, just enjoy the vibes, you know. That wasn't really a huge deal to me, though, but I can appreciate that. I just think, you know, when players want to get in there and battle and do their fights, the pixels you get is just none, and then the amount you need total is absolutely insane. I think it's just a severe problem. This video is probably like so long or something, but like, dude, like, how many pixels do you need for 1 wizard? So you have, let's just round up, 70, 70, so 140. What is that? 210. Bro, 270. 310. Okay. What is that? 340. 380. You need 400 pixels. That is 400 runs of Dawn to get the entire gear set for 1 school. And that's not even counting if you want to craft some eternal gear. You have to get probably more than that. That is nuts, bro. I think it's actually a bit more, or maybe a bit less actually, but average 400 for the full like Aeon gear. Like, that's just too much, bro, when we're only getting 1 pixel per fight, you know? And again, the last fight, yeah, it's 4, stuff like that, but the amount of time is just, it's too much time, man. It's too much time, and players just do not like that still, unfortunately. I think KingsL should really go back to an older system model that players like, and then maybe just slightly you know, expand upon that. Again, we're looking at Dragoon, looking at Lemuria, but yeah, man. Yeah, that's really all I got to say about the video. It might be a bit more negative than usual. I do apologize for that, but this recent update, I mean, I like it a lot, but the crafting, I feel like a lot of the casual players just are not very happy about. Again, I'm somebody who's probably got like 80 to 90% of all the new 160 gear, like the raid pieces, Eternal, Aeon for all 7 characters. I've been grinding my butt off ever since this new world came out. Honestly enjoying it quite a bit, but yeah, I think it's still too much. I think casuals are still unhappy. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments below. Do you like this new system? Do you prefer the old system? What kind of crafting system would you like to see in Wiz to be replaced with this Novus one? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and sub if you haven't already. It means a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.